What we have here in the very pretty little village of Sandoeira is an old stone-built house, a cottage, as you call it. It's got its own garden and some ruins and a garage, which we shall come to in due course. I'll just take you around the corner to show the extent of the property. As you will see in a moment, it's just had a new roof and a ring beam, so it is structurally absolutely sound. So everything, it's yellow and red here, is part of the house. Around we go. This was a door. It's just now we fitted in the window. It had no real purpose. Most of the door heights have been altered. This would normally be the front door off the street, of course, but I mean these days, I suppose if your neighbour comes knocking, that's where they're going to knock. But most people, of course, are going to drive in and either park in the garage or just park in the driveway and would use the other entrance. Now, on its own, this property is well worth what we're going to be asking for it, and I shall tell you that at the end of the video. No cheating. So here we go. Here is a part of the garden, sort of on a bit of a raised bed. Oh, important fact that if you know anything about old and renovating properties, you'll know how valuable it is to already be on the water. So yeah, the water is on. I mean, here's the water pipe on, but quite frankly, it does want replacing. But the important fact is the water is already on the property. Now, here's the rest of the garden. It's lovely. This rubble will be cleared and used to flatten an area down here. In fact, it should have been done already, and it should have been done by a mate of mine, and I will be calling him shortly to find out why it isn't. But it also comes on a separate article, so they are separate, with these ruins here, and they are not small. They're quite extensive ruins, and we'll go and have a quick look at them. And as I said, this rubble will be flattened. They go all the way back here, the stone ruins. They're completely registered, so with a project you can build a house or a couple of apartments or whatever you want here, because as I said, they are completely registered. So there is a neighbour at the back there, but back to the stone wall and all the way along here are some fairly extensive ruins, as I said. Old threshing circle here, beautiful old tree, which has just been pruned quite a bit because of the storm that we had. You may have heard of Katrina, which came and devastated quite a lot of the area. So yeah, pretty garden, stone ruins. I mean, just the stone ruins here with water and electricity already on site, which it has, and a septic tank. It's more than half the value of what we're going to be talking about for this property. So somebody asked me for a unicorn building. I won't mention his name, you'll know who he is. This is it. You know, you want a bargain? Something you could come in, easily renovate and add a lot of value to. This is the house for you. So into the house you go. This, I imagine, would be used as the kitchen. It would be the most obvious the everything that hasn't been exposed stone, all the blockwork, because a lot of the door heights have been altered and linteled properly. But there's lots of exposed stone here. You can render it, or you can point it up, or you can do a mixture of both. But everything else has been scratch coated. So it just needs top coat render all the way along. Here you've got these really nice windows put in, right the way to the end, all scratch coated, as I said. And the rest of it is exposed stone, and it is a bit of a labour of love, but it's usually worth it, at least doing a good portion of this with pointing, because it does make such a huge difference. And not only does it make a difference to how it feels, but it makes a difference to value, and it really does. I mentioned that we've got water and electric. I've proven the water. Now there's the electric. So water and electricity, and again, if you know anything about restoring properties in Portugal, you'll know what that's worth and what the hassle it is if you haven't got it. And it's not a small one. So, I mean, it's all doable, always doable. Again, this is one of the doors I had to completely duck to get through here. Now, you know, I'm just shy of 6 foot. I can walk through here without any problem whatsoever. And again, there's the roof. It's all been insulated properly with roof mate. Obviously, you'd want to finish that however you'd want to finish that, with timber or with plasterboard. And again, all of the stuff is taken off. It's all been pulled back, so you can choose how to finish these walls. It would make one very, very comfortable 1-bedroom cottage, or 2 if you want to sacrifice a little bit of that space, because there is plenty of space. You've got a kitchen here, a huge lounge diner here. It's got open plan, but it's got a big open feel. So yeah, it is that. I'll just pop round here again. Well, I didn't know again for the first time. And show this has been top coat rendered. So that's the outside finished. The neighbour's wall is just behind there, but you've got access all the way down the side of your own property. And the bathroom, which isn't running at the moment, but of course it's only because of it's an old iron pipe, and it does want replacing. But it's a small matter to do that. But once you run some water in, attach it in, a small chase through there, and you've got a running bathroom with a day's work. So all in all, absolutely fabulous bargain. Let me know. I'll put my name and my contact details. Sorry, didn't bring the key with me for the garage, but it's just a garage. But you can see it's a good sized garage. And once again, for the princely sum of €69,900, this can be yours. So please call me, WhatsApp me on Portugal +351 912 497 202. I will put that, of course, on the screen along with my email. So get in touch.